Hi, this is Kristen Shepard, Director of International Education, and this video is designed to give you some basic information on curricular practical training at Maryville College. So let's start by talking about your responsibilities as an F1 student who is interested in applying for Curricular Practical Training, or CPT. The main question that I need to look at in order to approve CPT is, have you maintained your academic status? So to be eligible for employment benefits, you have to have maintained your academic status. What does that mean? That means that you've only attended Maryville College. Summer and online coursework might have exceptions, but for the most part, this should be the case. And uh, any other coursework from other institutions have to be pre-approved by me. So if that hasn't happened, you have not maintained academic status. You have to have been enrolled in a minimum of 12 credits each semester, fall and spring, or have received approval for reduced course load. You must make normal academic progress towards your degree at Maryville College, and we use the institution standards for this. You must keep continuity in your program of study, so no absences for more than 5 months. COVID-related absences where you are studying do not count towards that. And filing requests in advance for things like extensions of stays, changes of status, transfer work authorization, major, minor, etc. Okay, the second thing are the documents that are important to this CPT conversation. I generally need to make sure that things that keep you legal in this country are still valid. So your passport, your I-20 document, a copy of your transcript from self-service, an unofficial transcript is fine. And then any other documents that might be relevant to your specific issue need to be brought with you to any CPT appointment. And we're going to talk about what some of those documents are today. Okay, so when we're talking about working in the United States, most of you already know about on-campus employment rules where you can work up to 20 hours a week on campus without getting approval from the Center for International Education. But CPT is an employment type that requires approval. So let's talk a little bit about what does that look like at Maryville College. So you'll see I have two columns here. There's a Maryville College column and there's a USCIS, the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services column. And I have up here CPT versus SPE. Well, Maryville College has certain ways in which we both acknowledge and require and make work integral to your Maryville College degree. One of those ways is Maryville College Works. So this is a degree requirement to complete significant practical experiences. And so you have a variety of options to do this depending on your field of study. It could include internships that we're talking about today, study abroad, field experience, senior study, etc. So Maryville College uses this as as a place to put your internships, for example, and count it towards your degree. We also have certain majors that have internship requirements. So we have major related internship requirements. And then if we don't have major related internship requirements, we do have the ability in every single major to add credit, to basically give credit to internship experiences. And all of this is really important because it forms the basis for how you become eligible for employment called curricular practical training. Okay, basically, the immigration rules require that students' internships experiences are integral to their programs of study. And so what that means is you have to be doing it as a requirement for your degree or credit bearing. And so a major related internship requirement generally is credit bearing. SPE are credit bearing. And so really this notion of credit tied to an internship is how Maryville College determines that this internship is integral to your degree. So it's really important that you follow Maryville College requirements for internships in order to keep yourself eligible to do this for immigration purposes. So USCIS is the body that grants you your student status in the United States, and curricular practical training um, is one of the immigration based rule related to internship and practica as part of your studies. So you can do internship for credit to be eligible for curricular practical training, and it can be, but doesn't have to be, your SPE. Okay. So what is curricular practical training? Basically, it is a practicum or internship directly related to your field of study. F1 students who are seeking a degree at Maryville College who've been enrolled in the United States for at least one academic year are eligible to apply for CPT. The basic rules for any sort of practicum or internship are that the work has to be major related. You have to have approval from your major advisor and the Center for International Education. You have to take it for credit. It can be paid or unpaid. It can be part-time. This is usually what happens during a semester. Under 20 hours a week is what's considered part-time, or full-time, over 20 hours a week. And this is usually what happens in the summertime. Usually CPT is off campus, but it may be on campus. Okay, so I'm going to stop there with that, and I want to go through the checklist of what needs to be done for curricular practical training. So I'm sending out this handout to anybody who is interested in doing CPT, and so you can follow this handout to see what needs to be done to apply for curricular practical training. This is basically the way that international students can do an internship. So step one is making an appointment with me, and we can talk through these steps. This video can take the place of that meeting. Step two is searching for a practicum or internship related to your field of study. You can get help from the Career Center, your advisor, any other faculty in your division to find a position. And then step three is going to be submitting a variety of documents to me, the Director of International Education, in order for me to evaluate whether or not that position is eligible for CPT. And so based on the previous list, I'm going to be looking to see if it's directly related to your major field of study and that it's meeting any requirements related to full-time, part-time, essentially, and that you are enrolled for credit. So you'll see that the things that you have to submit include a CPT request form. I'm going to show you that form in a minute. You're going to have to submit a job offer letter. And this is the main document that I need to use to evaluate whether or not this position is eligible. Your advisor is also going to need to see this job offer letter because it will help your advisor indicate to me that this is a position that's directly related to your field of study. So it needs to indicate a job title. It needs to have your supervisor name and contact. It needs to have the start and end date of employment, the number of hours per week, and the location of employment. So these are fields I'm going to have to fill out in the immigration database, and so I need all of that information. I also am going to need a letter from your advisor that basically says that this is an internship that relates to your field of study and that is integral to your degree. And you'll see I have a CPT advisor letter, a sample letter that I will attach to any email I send out about this that you can use as a template to creating this advisor letter. A copy of your transcript. Now, I'm going to be looking for two things on this transcript. One thing is that you have maintained your academic status, okay, or standing. And that means you're going to have been enrolled full-time in any semester where you're supposed to have been full-time. I'm also going to be looking for this next checkbox, the proof of enrollment in the practicum or internship course. It says from 0 to 15 credits, but immigration rules have changed a little bit, and it's actually 1 to 15 credits. Okay, so you have to be enrolled at least one practicum or internship credit. And then I need copies of your current I-20. And I use this just to verify your major field of study and what's indicated in our database. I'll compare that with your transcript. A copy of your passport pages. This is just to make sure that you've maintained your passport and visa um, eligibility. And then you and I will meet again, and I will authorize CPT in CVIS, and I will give you a new I-20. If you need a social security number, at that point, you will be able to work with Mickey Pruitt to get a social security number. And for that, you're going to need both a letter from us and the job offer letter. So it's a pretty simple process for you to complete. I want to go back for a second and show you this CPT request form. It's a pretty simple form to fill out, and it basically just documents some information for us that we need to use to demonstrate that you're eligible for CPT. So you'll see the top part of this is basic information about you, who your advisor is in case we need to follow up on any details related to your internship or your program of study. And then you'll see the section where it documents some of the information that will be on your job offer letter. Okay, so your employer name, start and end date, your job title, whether or not you are doing more than 20 hours a week or less than 20 hours. That will tell us if it's full-time or part-time. And CPT, if it's optional or required for major or CPT. And then the employer company address. Contact information is listed there. And there's a reminder here of the required documents that you're going to need to be submitting to me. So the job offer, the advisor approval letter, your transcript, copy of your I-20, I-94, and your passport and entry visa. Okay, and so this form, along with the documents, are the things that need to be submitted to request CPT. Okay, so hopefully that gives you a quick guide of what you need to do, and please reach out to me at international@maryvillecollege.edu if you have any questions. Thank you.